It is May 5th, 2022. I detailed out this morning. There was some campaign or some, I don't know, sentence, if you will, that had women of India all stationed something or other. And this morning's See the BS was, I detailed out just how many aerospace dimensions that they took up this morning in eyesores and souring the landscape. So that took up my morning. And there was no mention of what's on GMA3 at at 1 o'clock. The 12 o'clock news did not mention anything about anything with the word Asian or Pacific Islander, or there's been no words whatsoever spoken on the Eyewitness News at 12 or this morning, the 2 hour program this morning. But now at 1 o'clock, they have something. It's the first time I'm even hearing about it. I still don't have any words from anything that might be going on in something that looks like me as to what I should be doing, where I should be going, how I'm supposed to be able to afford, like, or receive some form of compensation or stipend. I mean, there's just nothing. I was looking earlier at the movie Hulk, The Incredible Hulk. It mentions something about Banner and Betty. And I'm like, and some romantic whatever. And I'm like, and then I'm looking up at the TV screen and I'm like, that's a different kind of bet on a banner that they're all complaining about with their motions and gatherings and whatnot that I don't have access to, except on the television when whoever the powers that be and however they decide to sequence this or let people have aerospace dimensions. I have no idea. But this is what it sounds like.
The growing challenges facing Americans of Asian, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Island heritage. Congressional Caucus Leader Grace Meng is here on.
I've never even heard of this woman, Grace Meng. They say she's a congresswoman. Again, I don't even know how one becomes a congresswoman. That's how poor the education here in Queens has been since my start of my education. They didn't give me this level of opportunity. I've been withheld from being able to do this. But again, that goes back to it, my Title IX being violated by this and whatever was mentioned this morning. I don't even know if there's any others that they're not even mentioning on the television, since this is the only one tube I have access to for any sorts of informations or updates. That's the reference for whatever she has going
On efforts to keep the community safe. Plus, the sweeping look at.
And then look, it
More
goes
than 2
back
dozen
to,
influential women who have rocked gospel music through the years.
I mean, this is what this morning was mostly on, was something that looked like this or sounded like that. They had portions of jazz, all carnival. They had all sorts of commercials going on this morning. There was something about a jazz festival. The Queen Latifah was on there about the Equalizer and how she's a philanthropist and all this other stuff. All up more career choices and paths I was never even allowed to pursue. Well, I'm just waiting here. Here's a little bit longer or more in depth on these words that they use, that they refer to themselves as Asian and Island Pacific. and I'm not sure if there's any other words that they use, but again, this is the first mention I've heard of it in days. I mean, I've been recording what they're allowing on the New York televised station. I don't even see any aerospace time or design, even really for things that I might be interested in. It's taken up by all of this whatever. Meanwhile, I haven't been given the same opportunity as all the people complaining.
Welcome back to GMA3, everybody, as we celebrate now this May being Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Yes, we are focusing on and celebrating all the contributions this community has made, but it's important also to talk about what needs to be done to further help this community and also to protect it.
That's right. Joining us is the first chair of the Congressional Asian Pacific American Caucus, New York Congresswoman Grace Meng. Welcome back to GMA3, Congresswoman. And we want to start first, though, with the leaked Supreme Court opinion suggesting that the court will, in fact, overturn Roe v. Wade. I'm curious what you make of that leak and what role you think lawmakers should be playing in this as we await the court's official decision.
Well, this is potentially a heartbreaking situation for so many women across the country. About half the states in our country will be affected, and it will be essentially telling everyone from a teenager to a rape victim that the government is forcing them to have a baby. And this is something that will affect so many people, especially people from underserved minority communities. It literally will prevent certain women, depending on what zip code you live in, from getting the adequate health care that they need.
All right.
It's already going on, so I really don't see like what they're talking about. I mean, I haven't been whatever.
All right, Congresswoman, we do want to turn now to this anti-Asian hate crimes. We saw a staggering increase, particularly in places like San Francisco and New York. And even here in New York, we saw, even on news oftentimes, these videos of these anti-Asian hate crimes. You sponsored the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act last year. It was passed overwhelmingly.
I have no idea what that is. I would have no idea where to even research that. I have no idea how they expect the public to know that they've acted or enacted all of these secret societal stuff that goes on, not just them, but the other ones as well. I mean, they've occluded my type of person from even participating my entire life. And then they, by like rerouting my lack of education or exposure to education, they've occluded me from this big technology and like all the stuff that they partake in. I haven't been able to enter or have a pathway of success that way. And then they've been doing all this secret government stuff with actions and motions that nobody has any idea how to keep up with to protect themselves from these actions and motions that they keep using freedom to take other people's freedom away.
Is it working, and how much time does it take for something like that to start working and having an impact?
Well, we saw the numbers skyrocket after the former president used words like Chinese virus, Kung flu, literally putting a bullseye on the back of our community.
Yes, but here's the thing. Who has bioengineering degrees? Are they the same words as what the president used? And is the president acting on his own, or does he have an intelligent network that he relies upon to give him accurate information that should be allowed out to the public? I mean, I just don't understand this entire process.
And so we know that there is a lot of work that has to be done. One thing that we are working on, obviously, is the implementation of the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act, providing resources to local entities, grassroots organizations, law enforcement to properly be able to collect information and to investigate these hate crimes. But this is something that comes at the back end after the fact. So that alone is not a magic pill.
And then she goes into, I'll let her go.
Also have to work on everything from providing adequate solutions and investing in mental health support.
And there they are. The problem from this morning and the problem here. In order to keep hate crimes down, it looks like someone has to give them an excuse word, like a safe word. And it sounds like the safe word that they use is mental. And then they give them some activity to go design what mental looks like so the big boys can handle real crime and whatever they got going on. And then this comes out with a word hate and then a word mental, and then they want to like have innocent people arrested for voicing their own freedom of speech. It's a real conundrum, and it is an abomination as far as I'm concerned. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken. They just keep spinning in this wheel like hamsters, and then they need stuff because they need to know answers. They get answers, they don't like them, they make them into something that they're not, and then they try to spread them like a mental disease, like a super infection, and infect totally innocent populations with their thoughts and their whatever they created. And now it becomes a super infected problem of, well, how does one live freely if there are others encroaching on your freedoms? And I don't understand, like, bigger picture, why did so many infiltrate one area and arrive in one area, in a densely populated area, no less? And how does one protect and defend oneself and one's family from these people arriving in the first place that are trying to displace them by making life, like, unlivable? Or taking away the social access and the social freedoms that one needs to survive and thrive, which is what's happened in my case. I can't even find applicable work. The education's been capped off. I mean, it's horrendous what they've done. Not just them, but the people from this morning as well. And I don't see any access or tap to go seek out help. Where does one find help at this level of infiltration? It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken. It's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.